Hello everyone, it is me again, Luminous Nova, Azrael, whatever you want to call me. Uh, I am officially back from college, and the upload schedule might still be a bit rocky for the next few weeks, seeing as it's coming up with the finals week soon. Um, and for some of the finals I have to study, some of them I don't, because most of my finals include, like, programming and whatnot, which I'm very adept at. So that's a cool thing. So I might be able to eventually get back on the schedule of 2 videos every week. Tuesdays and Thursdays at around 2 p.m. or so. So now you might be wondering why I'm in Minecraft. Well, I've been saying for a while that I'm in college, and I haven't exactly said what I went to college for. I'm actually going to college for game design. And one of the classes that I'm taking right now is introduction, or really it's introduction to programming, but it's actually really called gaming programming fundamentals. It's basically just the fundamentals on learning how to program a game in Python. But I've learned quite a few different techniques. I haven't really applied some of them yet, but I've tried applying them to Minecraft. As a lot of you may also know from earlier, I also have a Minecraft mod. Now, that Minecraft mod has been in development for a while. The Minecraft mod that I showcased there was kind of a bit primitive because kind of just restarted it on Minecraft 1.15. Might have to restart it again at 1.16 when that eventually becomes a thing I can do, because I have no clue how to port it to 1.16. But for now, let me do a proper showcase. So this is obviously all the items that I've made thus far. Half of these is actually just items for the quantum computer. Like, if any of you have actually seen Code Lyoko, basically the whole show is that there's a virtual universe named Lyoko, and there's like a well, it's a supercomputer, but I like to say it's a quantum computer because that makes more sense to me. But basically, there's like a evil AI inside of said universe that tries to blow up the world, and so literally, I think they're high school children in France. Just try to stop the world from being destroyed by Banana, which is the name of that AI. So obviously I had to make a lot of the items related to the computer in some way. Like, for instance, this is an ARM APU die and whatnot. Uh, I actually modeled these textures directly from reference images of what these actually look like. Like, for instance, that actually is referenced from what what is it? Yeah, an ASIC, bits of what an ASIC CPU actually looks like, and then I just added some what appears to be GPU's core there, because this is like an APU or whatever. It's there's a lot of work that went into this. Mainly the textures, which as you can see are clearly not done. And this is just an actual graphics card that exists. It's like supposed to be the Radeon 7, but it's an ASIC GPU. There's also some uranium refinement, because there's this one episode, I entirely forget which season episode it is, but there's this one episode of the show where they have to, like, refuel the supercomputer because it's the uranium battery running out. So that's why that's there. And also, this is uranium silicate, but this is a silicon wafer. It comes from the same recipe. I actually have recipes and whatnot, but I'm not gonna show them here because they're kind of unfinished, and well, let's be frank here, half of them kind of crashed the game still. um, Here's Jeremy's laptop, which is effectively another character in the show at I believe at around halfway through season 2. This one actually has a UI. Again, as you can see, it's not quite done, but I actually managed to get this UI up here because of my experience with how blitting works, which blitting is just a process of telling the engine how to move a picture across something. So, and actually, that's the wrong button. If you actually head to, you can briefly see there that the actual laptop opens up. I mean, you obviously can't see it because it opens the UI that covers everything, but it does actually have the ability to open and close. Now, again, unfinished, it's supposed to be like buttons there and whatnot. This is actually also the same UI that, it's not implemented yet, but it's the same UI that's supposed to be showcased or displayed when you actually turn on and interact with the supercomputer, which its parts are over here in various different random places. And then here's like quantum RAM and whatnot. It's really in depth, but still amazingly unfinished. Like, this is just digital sampler. It's literally a digital saber, or whatever saber thing I decided to make in Photoshop very quickly, like at the end of 2018, and I just slapped it in here and never changed it because I don't have anything else better for it. And this is like that's uranium, and again, half of this stuff is not done. But it's at least further along than it was when I showcased it off a couple of months ago. Oh, this is actually a music disc that actually works. I'm not gonna play it because this is actually just the actual opening theme song. It'll copyright strike. And then obviously you have the armors of the Lyoko warriors, Ileda's odds. This is supposed to be Ulrich's, but it doesn't have any inventory textures yet, but it does actually... Ow, I forgot I made that. I have custom sounds to actually equip the armor, but it is actually his armor. Like, let me actually put on the armor. Boop, boop, boop. A lot of this is placeholder, but yeah, it's actually Ulrich's armor. Again, based off of reference images and translated to Minecraft textures by me. And it was a pain to do so because of the stupid format that armor skins use. Where armor skins has to be mirrored on both sides because it's using it's using the skin format from 1.8. Beta 1.8. Yeah, it doesn't make sense either, because if you can see on there, that's only supposed to have one armband. But I have no choice in the matter, because a player skin uses a different format where you can have one armband. If I try to make this into, like, if I try to use that format on the armor, it just dies and it looks terrible. Anyways, here's William Dunbar's stuff. Oh, I forgot. Some of these are gated, like there's code in them that prevents you from putting them on in the overworld. Yes, I did program in each sector. It took a very long time and a lot of rage quitting. And this is also Yumi's armor. It's not done, as you can quite clearly tell. And because a lot of the Lyoko warriors don't actually have any sort of headwear, but I don't want the player to be able to just do anything they want, I actually have this here, which is supposed to just be a placeholder for no helmet at all, but it does provide a crap load of armor. Because the enemies that I programmed in do quite a bit of damage, like they can one-shot you with diamond armor, so... that's an unfinished feature that doesn't quite work. In that one... This is also based off of... Whoops. I'm also have... That is the wrong thing entirely. I have these, obviously, very, very early. This is based off of a few fan headcanons that Jeremy is an archer in Lyoko, because we never see Jeremy go into Lyoko, so we don't... I mean, he does go into Lyoko at one episode, but like we literally have no clue what he looks like. They've never bothered to rendering him in 3D, so that's all good in there. That's the armor. Here's the weapons. It's called the Ancient Weapon of the Samurai because this is also supposed to have a story in it. Again, not done, but this is a katana. It's based off of actual katanas, obviously. That took a long time to model because it had to be perfect. This is just the arrow shooter. It doesn't quite work. And it also is programmed to just outright not even work in the overworld. Yeah, this is just a placeholder for another weapon. Don't mind that one. This one is supposed to be Yumi's fans. Again, doesn't work in the overworld. But it's supposed to mimic a trident. That's why it has loyalty and whatnot on it. Ooh, that's off center. Oh dear. But here is William's sword. Yeah, it's quite big, and it's also very laggy because of how much vertices it has. I tried optimizing it, but it makes it look terrible. Oh dear lord. Oh. And also it has a thing built in where if it's a low enough durability, you just can't use it. Here's the field emitter. Again, doesn't work in the overworld. Half of these things don't work in the overworld because I don't want the player cheating using amazingly overpowered weapons in the overworld. And then here's... Well, that works, but this is supposed to be Jeremy's bow, but it's just a regular bow with a custom sound effect right now. Oh, that does grow. Okay. So here's all the blocks that are currently in the mod. A lot of these just outright don't have any, like, texturing or anything. Like, these are supposed to be various different ways of getting to Lyoko. This is supposed to be ways of creating the chips and whatnot over there. But either of these don't actually have any kind of functionality. This one just teleports me to over here. Because it's supposed to be a teleporter to Sector 5, but I have no clue how to do that. And the reason why these blocks are stuck together weirdly is because if I break any of them, it just crashes the game right at the desktop. Yeah, early. This is the ground for... Actually, I'll save the various sector blocks when I actually get to the sectors. So this is supposed to be like stuff for the supercomputer, as you can clearly tell by the characteristic textures that I made here. This is a title entity, so when it's built properly, it does show up a UI, but it works in a very specific direction right now because I'm terrible at programming. This is stuff to make more of the things to make the computer. It's not properly done. And there's also some blocks that are either placeholder or I added in here because I was bored and I have no clue what to do with them afterwards. This is the heatsink. This is... Oh, I forgot I made it like this. This is supposed to be like different levels of power for the supercomputer, because I'm gonna make it that the supercomputer has like 3 different tiers or possibly more, and each tier has different amounts of access to each sector. And also, obviously, you can see here there is the scanners. It doesn't quite fit together, and it doesn't actually work as a scanner quite yet, but it's getting there. So, also currently there's another person. I'll just put the name on the screen because I'll probably butcher it because it's French. Because I'm terrible at other languages. But they're helping me with making this mod. I actually encourage anyone with the knowledge and the... I don't know what else word to say this, but if anyone wants to help, link in the description to the GitHub. But he was the one that, well, they were the, I don't know really, but they were the one that made this block here, which is a test block that just gives, that just teleports you to each sector. So this is a mountain, that is desert, ice, forest, and that's, I don't know why it's C, that's supposed to be sector 5. But it basically, it mimics the program from IFFCL, or ISFCL, from that shows each scanner, but it's a task block right now, so it doesn't do that. So I can just send it right to. Oh, I forgot that's loud. Yeah, so here is Sector 5. It is unfinished. As you can quite clearly tell by the fact that it's just 2 spheres and nothing else. Now, as you can see, there it also has a custom skybox, so that's cool. But yeah, that's kind of it for Sector 5. And actually, because we're in the sectors now, let me show you the other sectors. So, if you can actually set dimension, me. So, obviously we have the desert, forest, ice, mountain, and volcano sector, but there's also the frontier sector, which was actually just the digital frontier from that one episode when Jeremy gets stuck in between dimensions. And a lot of you may understand that the volcano sector doesn't exist in the show. Some of you may have played Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity or watched me play it. That's where I got the idea of the volcano sector from. Let's go there first. It has the most work done on it. Yes, I actually ripped the skybox from the game. Actually, a lot of this stuff, I just took textures from Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity, because you're able to do that with the PS2 emulator. So, like, for instance, the ground is actually from that game. The lava texture is as well. And so is the skybox. That thing took a long time to get correct. It's really difficult for a lot of the stuff. I wasn't the one that made the design for the tower and got the tower to properly, like, have good looking particles and everything. That was the other guy. Flash name will put on the screen now, who was helping me. And it's like an actual tower from said source material. So there's just on one side, there is a random side that you're able to just walk straight through. It's kind of random though. With schoolwork. Oh, okay, it's the brown bits down here. That makes sense. So yes, this is the inside of the tower. It's quite cozy in here. Also, nothing can spawn in here, and if anything, if not a player enters this door, it immediately dies. If you fall down here, it teleports you up to the top. It's supposed to teleport you to the center platform, but like, well, it kind of doesn't. Like, the hope here that eventually we get to the point where when you touch the black void here, it sends you to a different sector, like it does in said show. But it doesn't, it just kind of goes boop. And then, next up is the forest sector. Oh, also, each of these sectors do actually have mob spawns. As you can clearly see, they don't quite work. Because what's going on is that the mobs are spawning in the digital ocean and instantaneously dying. Oh, I thought I crashed there. Oh. Yeah, it's... Oh, it's also because it's in peaceful mode. It's spamming it really hard. I think the game just crashed. Okay, it didn't crash. Let me just set it to normal mode. That's how it's supposed to normally be. They do spawn just too high in the air so they die, and they also end up dying in the digital ocean, which the digital ocean does kill, by the way. If you're in survival mode, it immediately kills you with the same damage as the void. So that's the reason why it's killing them all so fast. Yeah, let me just turn that down. Right, so next up is gonna be the ice sector. Ah, I see the issue with the skybox now. God damn it. I forgot I was busy fixing that at some point. But here's the ice sector. Ignore the skybox, it doesn't look good. I also was the one that created these mobs. Some of the mobs don't actually have any animations yet, but like for instance, the mega tanks do. When they walk, they roll, and when they attack, they actually open up. Like, let me head to the game mode survival. It's going to one-shot me, but oh yeah, I forgot. There's also a custom health bar in the sectors as well. So let me just head back to creative and head to a sector that I won't die in. Let's try the mountain sector. That has the least amount of spawns. So let me head to game mode survival and see there's a custom health bar. Actually, in the file that I've blitted that health bar image from, there's multiple different health bar colors because I also want to eventually add a class system in a way. Oh, there you go. As you can see, when they attack, they open up. They're kind of derpy looking though when it comes to attacking because they just inherit from the skeleton. Game mode creative. But yeah, they actually do work like a mega tanks in the real show, which they open and whatnot and have the insides and everything. So this is basically as far as we've gotten with this mod. Because if I actually head back, actually just got everything. If I actually head back to here, there is entry 1. It doesn't work properly because I don't know how to make a quest book or something along those lines. But it's supposed to be like notes from Jeremy about how Xana actually won and that the world was blown up or whatever. It's a really ambitious mod for someone who's quite new to this, but well, eventually it'll happen. Eventually. Oh, let me actually show you some multi-blocks that I have. So, projector, focus lens, and the quantum. That's not the right one. Boom. So, I think, if I remember correctly, this is how... No, it's thicker than that, I think? Is it thicker than... I think it's too high. Yeah, it's too high. So it's boop, 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 boop. There we go. I don't think we need the corners. But there we go. It actually makes the, holo map. It doesn't quite work as well. Nothing here quite works yet. Oh, what? What texture is that drawing from? Oh, that's... it's not mapped properly, huh? But yeah, this is the holo map. It's supposed to connect back to the computer. It's also supposed to be solid here, but it's not. there's more multi-blocks that we've made, but they don't work. Like, let me try and actually make the keyboard or the computer multi-block that just has these 3 components in it. So if I remember correctly, it should be checking across the x-axis. So that would be it, something along these lines. No, I think it's actually 1 block further. Technically, that would be correct, but I don't have anything programmed for it yet. And I don't have a custom model or anything, so... But it's getting there. It's still very early and kind of a bit too ambitious, but hey, getting there. Oh, also... if we put in solid quantum, which I don't know why I made that, it actually does spin in there and it eventually speeds up and up and up. Just be glad the sound is turned off, because if the sound wasn't turned off, it would literally be killing your ears. But yeah, it's getting there. So I guess that'll be it for this mod showcase, seeing as there isn't really much to showcase. I mean, I could show off the other mobs. I mean, really, they're not done yet. They don't really do anything. But I can actually show off some of the vehicles. So here's the hoverboard. It doesn't work. Here's the overboard. It does sort of work. Here's the overbike. It falls right to the ground because I have no clue how to program gravity. And they don't really travel properly. And also they don't really go up or down. Yeah, I don't know how to program half of this stuff because I'm still new. Oh, and they also cannot be killed. So, oof. That's basically it. Like, I get that there were plenty other mods like this beforehand, so maybe this isn't that interesting. But the other mods just outright didn't even have Lyoko in it, so I guess this is at least somewhat better. Anyways, if you liked this video, obviously leave a like. If you didn't like it, then, well, do whatever you want, basically. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.